Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Abdul Nasir Jangda coming back to you with the Qalam Hangout, where we're trying to answer as many questions as we can during the month of Ramadan. 30 days, 30 questions. So the question we have now today is 8 or 20, the age-old classic question. But to take a couple of steps back to be able to explain the issue a little bit more properly, the first thing is that what is the ruling about Taraweeh prayer itself? The ruling on Taraweeh prayers is that a lot of times a lot of folks engage in the conversation that, well, it's optional, it's voluntary, you can do it if you want to, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. We have to be a little bit more careful, and we have to be a bit more cognizant that maybe we don't have the proper understanding of the issue. The classical ruling when it comes to the Taraweeh prayers is that the Taraweeh prayer is Sunnah Mu'akkada. It is an emphasized Sunnah, which means the Prophet ﷺ did it consistently, and he also greatly emphasized it, and it was found in the practice and the tradition of his companions as well. And the interesting thing about a Sunnah Mu'akkada, an emphasized Sunnah, is that if somebody ignores it, neglects it, intentionally, deliberately, consistently, without any valid reason or excuse, it can actually become a source of sin and something that a person could be held accountable for. So let's try to make sure that we are, doing our best to pray the Taraweeh prayers as much as possible. The other thing I wanted to explain about Taraweeh, to motivate everyone, not just to give a ruling, but to motivate everyone, the month of Ramadan is an amazing opportunity. We all know that for spiritual growth, it's a great opportunity. But what makes the month of Ramadan such an awesome opportunity for spiritual development is that it is a twofold process, a two-step process. The first step is we fast during the day, starving our bodies, disciplining our souls. And the analogy I like to give is that that's like cleaning out the cup, emptying a cup and washing it and cleaning it out. The second step of the process is once the cup is clean, now you pour something beneficial in it like water to nourish and to sustain the body. And so while we starve our bodies and discipline our souls throughout the day fasting, at night it is an opportunity to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, read and listen to the Quran, the book of Allah, the speech of Allah being recited, and therefore feed our souls. And that is what makes the month of Ramadan so amazingly beneficial. And that is where true spiritual development occurs and happens. So try to understand, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ didn't just talk about the Siyam of Ramadan, but he also talked about the Qiyam of Ramadan, standing and praying in the night. So let's try to, inshallah, understand the importance and the benefit of the Taraweeh prayers. Now the next question on the table, to go a little bit deeper into the issue, is 8 or 20. So that's a valid scholarly difference of opinion. And for the average Muslim, they need to understand, they need to respect that, understand that, and not engage in a conversation that they're not qualified to engage in, but just leave it at that. There's a beautiful hadith from the Prophet ﷺ that really settles the issue, where the Prophet ﷺ talks about that the full reward for the qiyam, the standing, the taraweeh in Ramadan, is reserved for the person who begins praying with the imam and ends praying with the imam. So therefore my general recommendation for folks is attend your local masjid, your local taraweeh prayers, and pray with your local congregation, your local imam, your local scholar, and inshallah that is what is most beneficial for you. Having said that, the Qalam Hangout is a place where I share, my own personal thoughts and opinions as well. And so to just be very straightforward with you, I find to be the classical position of 20 raka'at to be the classically held position. And that is also my own personal preference as well. And that is what I conduct in my community. Having said that, what's very important to understand for folks, because the question that we received specifically is 8 rakats in a place where 20 rakats are being offered, is 8 rakats a valid exit point for somebody who is attending the Taraweeh prayer? Is that okay for them to leave after 8 rakats? So to answer that question, what I will say here is that it's very, very important to understand that the difference of opinion, the valid scholarly difference of opinion about 8 versus 20 is a difference of opinion, not of permissibility. One is right, one is wrong, one is halal, one is haram. No. Rather, it's a difference of opinion about preference. What is more recommended, what is more preferable. And keeping that in mind will be very important and very necessary for community relations. The other note that I also had, the last two things, are to answer the question specifically that it's very important that we understand where people are coming from, what people are dealing with. It's very possible that the brother or the sister that was standing next to you and who is leaving after 8 rakats, you don't know what their circumstances are. They might have kids asleep at home, somebody watching their kids for them. They might have to be at work at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. They might work all day long outdoors in the heat. And so it's very important to have empathy and to not project, but be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He's given you the ability to pray the whole Taraweeh prayers, and try to have some empathy and understanding and not judge your fellow brothers and sisters and fellow community members and congregants. And the last note, finally, is to my brothers and sisters who might, be taking it a little bit easier with Taraweeh prayers, even though they can possibly attend more than they are attending or attend in general. Also, please remember, like I said earlier, Taraweeh, it nourishes the soul. And, it is an emphasized sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So let's try to push ourselves and do the most that we can during this month of Ramadan, so that we can truly, improve ourselves and develop ourselves spiritually by the time this blessed month is done. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ability to make the most of this Ramadan. Jazakumullah khairan. Until next time, this is Abdul Nasir Jangda signing out from the Qalam Hangout. Remember, if you want your questions answered about Ramadan, you can tweet them to Qalam Institute. You can leave them on the Qalam Institute Facebook page. Just remember to tag your questions with hashtag Qalam Hangout. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.